Well, the first question is probably how many overseas players am I allowed? Two. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I'll go Brendan McCullum to open with Will Porterfield. Yeah. I mean, we know that with Brendan, you know you're going to get the power at the top and you're going to get off to a flyer. Even if that's six off the first ball and out, you know, you're still going to have the intent right from the get-go. And I think Porterfield complements that really well. Get him back on strike. You got left, right hand. And the knocks that he played in crucial games for us, you know, they got us over the line in 2014. I'll go Ian Bell at three. Belly at three, he's the calmer, I suppose. Like if the situation gets out of hand, he can bat through, but also the shots that he's got, especially over cover, and he can take down both spin and the seam in that power play. So I think he's really handy to have at three, and obviously his record speaks for itself. I'm going to go with Darren Maddie at four, and he gives you that little all-rounder option if you need some dirty little seamers from him as well on what are slow wickets. But because he picks up length really well off the stumps, I think he's really hard to bowl to. Well, he used to anyway. I don't think he does it now. Grant Elliott at five, and he's my captain, the cold pack that he was. Again, heavy match winner, leads guys really well, holds the changing room, and is out there making sure that guys can just do their job and have fun. But he bowls that filthy stuff that can have some good success, especially in those middle overs. I'm going to go to Laurie Evans at six. Powerful finisher. He's certainly showed that more recently, but he obviously again played some valuable knocks for us, and we know that he can. Well, from those that have seen him play, he can strike at 200 if need be. Ricky Clark at seven. Again, another strong hitter, but also his ability with the new ball. You know, he had a season for us where he was the leading wicket taker in the power plays and had the lowest economy rate, and he does that because he can swing the ball and bowls a very tough length. Chris Wokes, because, you know, you can't have a Warwickshire team without Chris Wokes in it. No matter what you'd ask him to do, you know he's going to get, you need 100% out of him. His batting, his bowling is obviously match winning, and even in the field. But he's closed out that 2014 game for us perfectly, and even against a big moment against Freddie Flintoff, I think he held his nerve really well. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to put Tim Ambrose in at nine, and I know that it's going to hurt him, but you know he is the best keeper that I've ever seen, especially in the short format, and he wins games a lot with his gloves alone, and I think he's really important for me to have anyway, but also for reading the game. And look, he might not be the finisher he wanted to be at the end of his career, but he certainly he certainly knows what he's doing with a game of cricket and who to get on strike and how. If you think back to his very first game of T20, he actually did all right. So, and that was 20 years ago now. I'm going to have to put myself at 10 as really the only spinner in the group. I've loved playing at Edgbaston. I've loved playing in the Blast. And, you know, the biggest games for us have always been the games that I've wanted to play in. So I have to throw myself in there. And it was a real toss-up to get that last seamer in, you know, between Ollie Stone, Boyd Rankin, Oliver Hannon Dolby. But I went with the Hannon Dizzle. Mate, he's always tried to perfect his skills as well as he has and the passion that he shows for the group. He's also closed games for us, really important games, and he works so hard at his game. It'll be a remiss to leave him out. He's played a lot of T20 cricket for the Bears, and you know I hope he continues to do that. He just keeps improving from strength to strength. 12th men, Poisden, Stone, and Rankin. Poisden because we know we're going to get golf tee times in between rounds. In between games, so we know that we're going to get to be able to play golf wherever we go. Stoney, obviously more for his cricketing prowess in terms of being able to bowl rockets, and also Boyd Rankin for the same thing. He just adds a little bit of height to our group, which makes us look bigger. Clark and Wokes will open. It will get, if anything, it'll probably come down to matchups in the front six, so I might have to do some work there. But certainly Clark, Wokes, followed in with Hannon Dolby. and maybe even this when we start to take the pace off with Darren Maddy and Grant Elliott, then me, and we bring in Hannon Dolby as the game progresses. But I think we're pretty well balanced there with pace, guys who can move the ball up top, but also guys who can nail their skills at the back end. Oh, mate, it was fantastic. Actually, that trip is a huge highlight of mine, going down to London to play Surrey in a quarter-final, packed house down there. That we had our Warwickshire supporters who came down and they sung the house down. In fact, they drowned out any Surrey noise that you could hear. So, mate, Grant Elliott's innings that game was next level. We stood up to a very strong team at their home ground, and Surrey are very to beat at the Oval, and we were lucky enough to get over the line in that one.